everyone. Happy Wednesday. Oh my gosh, I love Wednesdays. I love teaching this core and stretch class, and I also really like taking cardio kick butt after. So I just want to thank you for joining me today, whatever day it is that you're tuning in for our 30-minute express core and stretch class. You got just over, whoa, that's right, friend. You got just over 3 minutes before we get started. Whoa. So I'm just gonna bribe my nasty bird. Oh yeah, you like those peanuts. And we're gonna get started on the floor. Today's class is gonna include a lot more stretching than our core specific work. But I do like how we've been sticking with those circuits. So we're gonna do 2 different circuits today. And I'm just gonna extend the time of our movement. So we're gonna do 1 minute of each exercise, round of 3 moves 2 times. So we've got 12 minutes of ab work coming your way, and the rest of the time is going to be a lot of stretching and relaxing. Make sure that you have some water. You might want to have a block or a strap. I can't even think yet how you might want to enjoy those, but I hate to have you not have anything nearby that might just help you feel your ultimate best. Grab some water. There won't be any specific water breaks during class, but of course you're welcome to have water anytime you want, and I will not be playing music. I just realized I didn't put my headphones in. It is what it is. But you're welcome to play music if that's what's gonna help you to just feel encouraged to keep moving. Okay, so we start in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And I'm just gonna look around my apartment and feel confused for the next 2 minutes. Sounds great. But if you are here early and you wanna make it down to the floor for any stretches that feel great, or you just wanna stand and walk around your room like I'm doing, do what feels good. Do what feels good. Boop, 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 boop. Is this the timer I want? No. Wednesdays. Oh, you're giving me back peanut love. I don't. Ooh, Fred. I see an almond. Should we save that almond for later? Oh, here's an exposed almond. I'm making coffee happen. Whatever it takes for you to show up and feel energized and good, I do encourage you to drink some water as well. Oh, I am ready for this. I was so inspired by everyone who came out in person and who virtually participated in this year's Trick or Trot 5K fun run and walk, that I'm already starting to prepare for the next one. I participated on my own, but wow, just seeing people come out and do their best, training for the race on their own. This was the first in-person 5K that I'd seen in so long, and it made me really want to be a part of it. So I'm trudging through my 10K training right now. And I know that I'm feeling a little sore, so I imagine there are other people who are enjoying some other exercises and feeling pretty sore. And we are going to speak to all of that today. So let's make our way down to the floor because it is that magical time. Ooh. Yay! And we're actually just gonna get started laying all the way down on our backs. I want you to firmly plant your feet into the floor. Take a nice little bend of the knees. Relax your arms down by your side. We're just gonna start off truly melting into the mat. I want you to glue your lower back down onto the mat. Take a little engagement of your abdominal core. And as you're down here, create as much length as you can. So space, shoulders away from ears. You're drawing those elbows, shoulder blades gently towards each other and down. So you feel some engagement in your back, through your lats and the side of the body, and a real engagement of that abdominal core. I want to make sure that you're using your core. So we're going to just start off with that belly pulled in nice and tight. And just simply start working those abs. So keeping one foot down on the floor at a time. Try not to rock too much side to side. We're just going to draw one leg up into tabletop. Keep that belly in, lower back down. Bring it back down towards the floor. And then draw that other leg up into tabletop. Let's keep up with this same move right here. Make sure those shoulders are still down on the mat, that they're not creeping up towards your ears. There might even be a slight tuck of your chin to your chest, or it feels like a little bit of a tuck of your chin to your chest to get as much of the back of your head, maybe even your neck, on the mat. All right, if this is feeling real easy for you, if your back is feeling great today, I want you to stretch those arms up towards the ceiling so that you're not using those arms on the floor to help you brace. We are starting off so nice and gentle today, just really warming up the body. I'm even going to relax the shoulders back down towards the floor, so I'm not reaching too much up towards the ceiling. Almost like you are sleepwalking, but you're relaxed sleepwalking. We're not going after anybody. Awesome. We're going to do a couple more. If you're ready to make it a little bit more challenging, I invite you to bring both feet up into the air, and we're still going to move one leg at a time, but you can see how it challenges your abs a little bit more to tap either that heel or the ball of the foot down on the floor. And if you find you need to bring those arms down, or if it's just more comfortable for you to bring those arms down, keep it up. Let's get two more on each side at whatever pace you are moving today. Now, if you found that bringing your legs up into tabletop made that lower back come off of the floor, you're going to bring those feet back down. And now we're going to challenge ourselves to do 5 with both legs at one time. I'm going to bring my arms out to the side into a goalpost because I think that's a little bit more supportive for me and easier on my back. We're just going to tap either the heels or toes down. I'm alternating heels down, toes down. I find it a little bit easier to touch those toes down towards the floor than the heels. So I'm challenging myself to do a little bit of both. We got one more of both feet tapping down, and then draw those knees up towards your chest. You can open them nice and wide. Stretch your elbows in the direction of those hips. Just relax into your breath. Make sure that you're not curling that lower back up off of the floor. We're really pressing that lower back sacrum down towards the mat. Let's get 3 more breaths right here. Nice work. On your exhale, go ahead, plant those feet firmly back down on the ground. You can move them one at a time to get them there. Let's relax our arms back down by our sides, kind of reaching towards those heels. It's okay if you don't touch them. We're going to do just a couple glute bridges right here. I don't want to be a meanie with too many glute bridges. So draw that lower belly in. And I want you to keep your shoulders and even keep this mid-back area on the floor. So it really is more of a hip thrust here. We're not coming into a shoulder bridge. We're just working to really tuck that pelvis, find a little bit of squeeze and a lift. So your hips should not be coming up too high. You can definitely still see your knees. A reminder, we're not coming up onto those shoulders. We're keeping that mid back towards the floor. So if you happen to be wearing a bra, or you've ever seen a bra, imagine where that bra strip hits the back, and that's the area that we're keeping down on the floor. We're going to go for 3 more, and then we're going to keep it up here for 3. Nice work. Really find that squeeze. Ooh, nice little stretch starting to happen in those hip flexors. 1, and on this next one, let's stay up here. Keep it up nice and high. So remember, mid-back is still down on the floor. Starting to even feel some warmth in those quads. We're going to press ourselves up onto the balls of the feet. So I'm wiggling my way onto the balls of the feet. And this time you might roll up a little bit more so that it is a little bit more of a shoulder press. And we're just going to keep those hips high. You can still see your knees. We're going to drop our heels down, lift those heels up. Drop your heels down, lift your heels up. We got 10 more. 10. Keep those hips high, just those heels drop. Do the best to keep those hips nice and high. I find this one to be really challenging, a lot of work happening into those hamstrings as well. And for me, immediately, I start to get that shake in my quads. If you're getting too much of a shake in those quads, take a moment, lower yourself all the way down, and when you're ready, lift yourself up. We got 3 more, 2 more, last one. Go ahead, plant those heels back down to the floor. Carefully lower yourself down. Let's take a moment, extend those legs all the way out. Oh my gosh, feels so good. And inhale those arms up overhead. Bring in the stretch into the sides of the bodies. Keep your hips at the center line. We're gonna walk our legs all the way over to one side. Oh my gosh, as far as you can go, or as far as feels good. I'm feeling real tight in my lower body, so I cannot quite get my legs to come together today, but it still feels good to find a little separation and find a little tick towards the side. So keeping your hips right where they are, maybe your upper body moves a little bit too. We're gonna bring those arms in the same direction of your legs. Now, if you have more flexibility than I do today, you can experiment with crossing one leg over the other. Normally, I like to cross the inside leg over the outside, but you gotta find what feels right for you. Can you create some space? So engaging those shoulder blades, knitting that rib cage back together, space of shoulders away from ears, as much length as you can. Really press your hips in the opposite direction of your hands and toes. Take 3 more relaxed breaths. Great. On that next exhale, let's bring our hands back to where they were first, hands and arms, and then feet walk back towards the center. Take your time to get there. Maybe you take an extra breath right here, really relaxing that back, releasing any tension, and then we're gonna walk over to the other side. So once again, legs move first. Do the best you can in the space that you have. Starting to create that stretch first from the hips all the way down towards the heels. Both sides of the body are not the same, so maybe it feels good to cross a leg on this side, and then we're gonna bring our upper body over to the side as much as you can. Work to create that space again, shoulders away from ears, shoulder blades engaged gently, drawing those lats down and knitting that rib cage back together so you have some engagement of that abdominal core. You're doing awesome. I wish I could see you. I bet you look so good, so relaxed on the floor right now. Take 2 more big breaths. Keep them slow. Make sure as you're breathing, inhale, belly rises, expands, and exhale, belly falls. Awesome. Take your time. Come on back through to center. Walk those legs back to center. Take a moment, release your arms down by your side. We're just going to relax right here into our breath here in Savasana. Awesome. I'm going to wiggle my way up a little bit further on my mat so I have some room for my feet. And we've got, that's not what we're doing today. We've got 3 moves for our first set. Where are they? They're right here. Okay. So today we're going to do each move for a full minute, or you're going to do your best to stick with that minute. We have 5 seconds to transition into the next move, so we've got a total of 6 minutes of work coming up right here, and then we're going to come back into stretches. I do believe we're staying down on the floor the whole first round. We are. I'm so kind, but I know I'm going to need a little bit more space, so I'm going to turn gently in this direction, and hopefully you can still see me quite fine. All right, so for our first move today, we're gonna go for a butterfly. Yay! If you're feeling really not super strong in your lower back, you get to bring your thumbs underneath of your bum for a little bit more support, pressing the outer edges of those elbows into the floor. And you can even start with your legs up towards the ceiling. So for our butterfly, we're going to cross and open our legs. And we got 2 different rounds. So maybe one round you do a nice quiet closed cross, and maybe the other round you challenge those adductors a little bit more in those thighs by going for a nice big butterfly wing. Yay! Now the more you have your heels up towards the ceiling, the easier this move's going to be. And the more that you start to, I'm tired. The more that you start to bring those feet towards the floor, the more you're going to notice that your lower back wants to lift up off of the mat. Don't bring your heels so low that you start to find that arch in that back. So maybe you're keeping your butterflies super high today, or maybe as your abs really start to get nice and warm and worked up, you can start to bring those heels a little bit lower. That's move number one. Move number two is going to be knee drops. So I think it helps to extend your arms to the side, or as much as you can, starting in a tabletop position. We're going to drop knees down towards the side, and then as close as you can, once again with those heels towards the floor, roll all the way to the other side and up. We'll switch each time that we go. So again, the closer your heels come towards the floor, the more challenging it's going to be. Also, the more that your legs are extended, the more challenging it is to find that rotation all the way around. For this one, it can help if you have something to hold onto behind your head, but I would encourage you to not do that so that you're using a little bit more of those abs. Just keep those heels higher. And our last move, one of my favorites, we're going to go for a scissors, but not just a scissors, getting the shoulders off of the floor. We're going to work to tap those fingers together behind our thighs. Great. Did you enjoy relaxing while I explained those moves? I hope you did. Do you remember what's first? It's butterflies. Full minute starts in 3, 2, 1. Belly and lower back down on the floor. Go for it. Remember, you can tuck those thumbs under your bum. There is no shame in getting a little bit of extra support. So maybe if you have your thumbs under your bum, you're able to get those heels a lot closer towards the floor. And maybe if you have your arms out towards the side, you're not able to find that depth with your heels. But both are great ways to work those abs. Keep it up. I'm going for a nice close-legged butterfly this first time around. And in round 2, I'm going to go for that much wider butterfly. But you do what feels right for your body today. Just cross in at those ankles as they come together. So you get some lower ab work really happening as those heels approach the floor, and then you can ease off on the tension as you bring it back up. So even if your legs stay high, challenge yourself for a little bit more of a diagonal, and then you can come back to straight. All right, move number 2 is going to be those knee drops. So arms to the side, begin. Drop knees to one side, roll over onto that hip, extend those legs, bring it all the way around, and then roll back onto your back. Feel that lower back press down into the floor each time as you come back into tabletop. And remember, you're doing what feels right for you. So maybe your legs are staying a lot higher up towards the ceiling in a lot more of a diagonal line as opposed to close to the floor, and that's okay. And if you need more of a challenge, instead of keeping those knees bent, you can try this one with straight legs. So much more challenging with those straight legs. Also requires a little bit more space than I think I have in my apartment. So this is where holding on gently to maybe a bench or a kettlebell or something behind your head, if you're finding that you're really having trouble with your balance, can help. Awesome. Relax those arms down by your side. Let's get ready for our scissors kicks. Begin. I'm going to start with legs up towards the ceiling. One leg drops. Shoulders come up off the floor. Shoulders come back down. So you can make this a little bit more challenging if you want to, instead of having legs up towards the ceiling for your brief break. Having legs down towards the floor. One ankle hovering. I am a little too sore to have that one ankle hovering today. And I know I'm going to cardio kick butt right after this, so I'm going to take it a little bit easy on my body so I can keep moving throughout all of today's workouts. But now, you know, that's an option if this is the only class that you're doing, if you're really trying to get the most out of these 30 minutes. And if you need to take a bend in your knees, you can always bend your knees and still work with tapping that heel down towards the floor, just like we did in the beginning of the class. And if you really need to, both feet can be down. You can be lifting one leg and tapping behind your thigh. Awesome. We're coming back to that butterfly. Begin. So this time, as promised, I'm going for a much wider leg. Oof. But I still want to find that, keep that nice speed going. Using that breath. Did you hear mine? Exhale each time those legs are coming together. Really draw that lower belly in. Working it up and down. Abs are starting to feel delightfully tired. We got just a little over 2 minutes to go after this. Oh yeah, nice and wide, nice and wide. Oh, way to go. 10 seconds left. Last time you have to do these butterflies today. Oh my gosh, 1 minute feels like forever. My thighs are burning. Yay. Oh, next is those knee drops. Ready? Begin. Turning, so I have some space. Drop those knees to the side. You get a nice little spine twist. And then kick through those heels. Bring it all the way around. Remember, bent knees is a little bit easier than straight legs. And if you need a little relief while you're doing this one, take an extra moment with those knees to the chest. The more that your knees are to the chest here, the easier it's going to be on those abs as opposed to having knees stacked right on top of hips. Make sure though, as you come around, that lower back comes down towards the floor. Nice work. Keep it up. You're amazing. Way to go. Crushing this little ab section with either bent knees or straight legs. Yes, last part. So we're going to get that some version of tapping behind the thigh. Begin. Remember, easiest version is with heels down on the floor, just lifting one leg up and then the other. You can still work to find that tap, even if your fingers don't come together, if you're just reaching past that thigh. And if you're ready for a little bit more, doing those nice straight legs, finding one heel dropping towards the floor, or maybe you have straight legs and one knee bends down towards the floor. I want you to work towards making things as challenging as possible. Remember, the hardest version, your feet would be a little bit lower to the floor. Taking it midway on myself today, giving myself the grace of legs up towards the ceiling. But remember, with challenge comes change, so just make sure that you're doing something, that you're feeling that work. I promise I'm still feeling it. 5 seconds left right here. 3, 2, 1. Draw both knees to your chest one more time. Go ahead, extend those arms out to the side. Let's roll over, come into a spine twist, hang out there right now. So this is a great place to use that block if you brought it with you, if it's uncomfortable to drop those knees towards the side. Maybe you stack that block between your legs. Can you get your opposite shoulder down towards the floor? How much can you roll onto the other hip and then work to get that opposite shoulder down to the floor? So exaggerate the spine twist a little. And feel free to invite your neck to the party. Look in the opposite direction of your knees. Draw those shoulders down and back still. Take notice if they were creeping up towards your ears. Take a couple relaxed breaths. Awesome. Let's roll over to the other side. Take your time, pass through center. Feet come down towards the mat, press into them, roll to the opposite hip, and drop those knees towards the side. Really work to exaggerate the spine twist. So do your best to stack 2 hips on top of each other and then work to bring that opposite shoulder on the floor. The more that you stack those hips and then work to get this twist, the deeper that you're going to feel it. Focus on stacking the hips. It's just really going to depend on your skeletal system, your current flexibility, whether you can get this opposite shoulder to the floor. I am pretty flexible, but hypermobility is also not the best, just working. That's why strength and flexibility, they are like the marriage made in heaven. You don't want to have just one, you definitely want to have both. Having a lot of one makes the other a little bit more challenging. All right, let's roll back to our center one more time. If you're like me and those quads are really tired, let's get a big stretch into them. So knees to chest. One more time, we'll do my favorite quad stretch, and then we'll move to our next little ab routine. Go ahead, bring one hand on top of your shin, and the opposite hand comes to the other foot. As you work to bring the sole of the foot towards your glute, and the outer edge comes down towards the floor, take a big stretch through your knee to the bottom of the mat. So I'm stretching my knee away from the center line of the body, and also working to open up my thigh like you would in a butterfly seating position. So big stretch in the quad, a nice little stretch in that hip flexor too. Find what works for your body today, the depth that you can get into. Really relax here. 3 more breaths. Great. Let's change. Carefully come out, so no flinging. Move with intention. And then opposite hand comes on top of opposite knee. Opposite hand reaches for the other foot under your quad. Release the outer edge of the foot to the floor. Then start to stretch through your knee to the end of the mat. And then also press the outside down. So we're stretching in 2 different directions at the same time to feel that engagement on the top of your thigh. Maybe really feeling it in that hip flexor. Maybe you're feeling it big time on your inner thigh too, just depending on how tight your body is today. Relax right here. Take a couple more breaths. Great work. Let's carefully come on out. Then we're going to roll over onto our sides because we need to come into tabletop. Yay, we're just going to quickly pass through tabletop. What's all this junk coming in there? And you know what? We're feeling so good today, we're starting to run out of time. So we're only going to do 1 round of each of our next moves so that we can finish with a brief little stretch as well. Let me tell you what's coming up. We're going to go for a down dog. So feel free to cat-cow it out right here so you still feel good as I tell you what's coming. We're going to go for a down dog. From down dog, you really press into your hands, challenge that balance. Tap towards your opposite ankle. Is that glass? It might be. And then we're going to shift it forward, come back towards tabletop, but don't put those knees on the floor. Just come into bear and then press back up. It's okay if those heels don't tap down on the floor. We're getting a lot of challenge to our upper bodies in round 2. So after that, we're going to go for world's greatest stretch. This one's going to be dependent on how you're feeling today. So either staying in plank, stepping 1 foot forward and reaching 1 arm up. Or if you need to, you can step 1 foot forward. You can bring that back knee down towards the floor. You can reach up towards the ceiling, then tuck your toe again. Switch it out. Let's bring 1 knee down, switch it out. Now if you need to, if you have a lot of trouble getting that leg forward, maybe you even go from a little down dog, just like we did in round 1, into your lunge. It can make it a lot easier to bring that foot forward, and still an option to bring your knee down for a twist. Our last move is going to be a kneeling get up. So starting from kneeling on the floor, we're going to stay low in a squat, get on up, kneel back down. Ooh, we're going to work out those hips. You ready for our last round of movement? Starting with down dog, ankle taps into bear in 3, 2, 1. Begin. So we got 3 minutes of work to go. Tap towards that ankle. If you need to have a bend in your knee, that's okay. Then we shift weight forward, shoulders on top of hands, palms, knees hover over the floor. Awesome. Press yourself up. Belly comes towards thighs. Tap, tap. Getting a nice stretch in those hamstrings too. Great. This is a solid combo move to get that stretch going. Keep that belly pulled in nice and tight. This is like a continuous forward hinge. Little balance challenge as well. A little stress on those shoulders by keeping just 1 hand down on the floor. You can do it. Keep it up, keep it up. You are amazing just for showing up today. Keep breathing, keep moving through it. If you want to move a little faster than me, you're welcome to move a little faster than me. I like to keep things slow so that I'm really using those muscles and not just momentum. But everyone likes things a little differently. Awesome. So next, coming into that world's greatest stretch. Remember, if you want to, you can stick with this down dog motion and extend one leg up and then bring it forward into your deep lunge. Reach on up and then switch. So maybe going back into that down dog and then bringing it forward and into your twist. Or you're hanging out, keeping those glutes low. Being in a lunge, 1 foot forward, twist. Keep those hips low if you're enjoying the lunge. I think the lunge is a little bit more challenging. Hi, Freddie. You have to work a little bit more within that range of motion to really open up those hips to bring this leg forward. If you need even more, just keep those knees down on the floor. Keep going, move from tabletop to just open and close. This is your workout. Find what works for you. You can always rewind and do this again if you found that you were struggling to find what works. All right, last move. So starting here on the floor, kneeling, try not to let those hips get too high. We come on up, we come back down into a squat. Down into kneeling. So I find it helps for this one if you open those feet nice and wide, coming into a nice wide squat. And I'm alternating which leg I'm starting with each time. This is great for getting a little mobility into those ankles too. Yay, great work. We are halfway through. We're gonna get a big stretch in those hamstrings when we're done. We'll take a nice little stretch into those calves as well. Oh, my hips. Getting you nice and warm. Hope you're able to stick around with us from 12 to 1 to join in on our cardio kick butt class with Antonio. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. I want you to stand it all the way up. We're going to come into a dangle. So take as generous of a bend of your knees as you need today. And let's just pedal it out. So keeping heels down on the floor, even if you can't reach down to the floor. Maybe you grabbed hold of your opposite elbow, take that generous bend. Bellies on thighs like a table. Ooh, and from here, bend one knee into the other, get some movement in those hips. Take a moment right here, shake your head. Yes, I'm so glad I came today. Shake your head. No, I do not regret taking 30 minutes for yourself. And then slowly weighten your heels, roll it back up. Send one leg behind you. Take a slight bend in that front knee. Press through that back heel. Ooh, find that nice stretch. Feel it in my glute. Really feel it in the calf. If you don't feel it in the calf at all, sometimes even pressing, oh my gosh, pressing against something with that nice long upper body. I barely changed the distance in my step. I just was able to apply a little more pressure of heel towards the floor. All right, we're gonna change it up a little bit. Shorten that step. Press the ball of the foot into the floor. We're gonna stretch out this hip. So squeeze your back leg glute, and I want you to exaggerate pushing those hips forward. So almost like you're leaning against a ball behind you. You feel that nice stretch in the glute and a good opening of this hip right here. Ooh, nice little chest stretch too. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Yes. All right, let's switch it out. Other leg. So just press that heel behind you. Maybe put your hands on something. Feels good, feels good. All right, finishing it up with this last little bit of a hip stretch. Go ahead, step that back foot forward, ball of the foot onto the floor, really pressing into the ball of the foot. Squeeze this bent leg glute, hips forward, find that opening of your hip. Nice, take 3 more breaths, keep them slow. Awesome, change, shake it out. Shake it out. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. Go ahead, plant those feet on the floor, quiet them down, take a bend of the knees. Inhale, reach all the way up towards the ceiling. Reach through one side of your fingers. Reach through the other side. Exhale, bring those arms down. You're worth it. Let's take one more breath. Bend those knees deep. Inhale, reach all the way up. Look up, find that stretch on your belly, on your abs. Ground through your heels. And then exhale, chin to chest. Arms come down by your side. Great work, everybody. I want to thank you so much for coming and joining me today. If you have any questions or concerns about today's workout, I know that you'll reach out. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever day it is that you tuned in, and I'll see you soon.